Yo, what up, guys? Mr. Smith here. As y'all know, I will be out today because I will be attending a quick field trip. But I did want to leave you a video just kind of furthering our instruction on VCarve. So what I actually want to do today with y'all, everybody should be familiar with cornhole boards. It's where you take the bean bags and you throw it and it slides up the board into the hole. So I want to reinforce some of the things that we had learned in class the other day by actually just making the top. So we're not going to make the sides right now. I'm just going to have y'all work on the tops of the cornhole boards. All right. So to do that, we're just going to use this schematic. All right. And so first thing you need to do is pull up your VCarve. All right. And once you pull up your VCarve, you will see over here on the left, we have all of our settings to get started. So when we start fresh, we're going to do create new file. All right. And once we create that new file, then you got to do our settings here. So we're going to do 2 cornhole board tops for this one. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to make this like 55 wide. All right. If you think back to that picture, on that picture, each board was 24 wide, so we need some extra space. So 24 plus 24 is 48, so 55 will work. And then they're 48 tall, so we're gonna go ahead and do 55 again. Sorry guys, the magnifier working against me today. So we'll do 55, 55. We'll leave it on 0.5. And we're going to leave everything else the same. So I'll sit here for a second. Pause it if you need to. And then you're going to click OK. So at this point, you should have a screen that looks like this. All right. Now, if your screen looks like this, you're in a good spot. So the first thing we need to do is we need to draw out our board. So these are just rectangles. They're 24 by 48. So I'm going to go over to my rectangle tool. So I'm going to zoom back in here. Rectangle tool's right here. I'm going to click that. Let me move this out of the way. And again, the size is down here. See, size. The width of the board is 24. And the height is 48. All right, so 24, 48, and then the middle of this thing, we made it 55 wide, 55 wide. So I am going to, what is half of 55? That would be 27.5. Oh. So 27.5. And 27.5. Alright, so I'm going to leave those settings up for a second. And then click create. Alright, so I'm going to go out of magnifier now that you've seen the settings. So this represents just one cornhole board, right? So this is one top right here. Now, I need a second one, right? I want to do 2 tops. We're going to do 2 tops like we're actually going to build our game. So I can take this one and I can right click and copy and right click and paste, right? Or another option I could have done is go back into the rectangle tool and my settings are already still there and just hit create again. All right, so again, to move them around, you click and double click, and that lets you move these around. So these are our 2 cornhole board tops. 2 cornhole board tops. So if you look at a cornhole board top, the only really thing on it is this circle. But the thing is, we got to place that circle where it needs to be. And it needs to be 12 inches in towards the middle of the board. And then it needs to be down 9 inches. So in 12, down 9. And then we're going to place a 6-inch circle there. So the way I like to do this is I think about it as a square. So I'm going to go back into my rectangle tool. I'm just going to go ahead and draw my square, or I guess it would be a rectangle. I'm going to draw my rectangle in the middle of the screen, but it's going to be 12 wide. And how far down was it? It's 9 down. So 9. So I'm going to zoom in on that for y'all. So I'm going to draw a new rectangle, 27.5, 27.5, 12, and 9. And I'm going to click Create. Let me get out of the magnifier. So now I have this rectangle. So it represents where the center, right? Over 12, down 9, that's where that hole's going to go. So I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm going to zoom in enough using the wheel of my mouse that I place it in that corner. Then I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to put it in this corner. So I'm going to zoom in just to make sure that I am aligned with that corner. And now I have the 2 cornhole boards here, and I have marked the center where my circle goes. So I'm just going to take that circle tool, and I'm going to click on this bottom right point. Alright, and that's going to give me the center point. I need a radius of 3 to get a diameter of 6. And then I clicked Create. So that made my little circle down here. So I'm going to place it right on that corner. And then I'm going to paste another one I used Control C and Control V there. So I did a copy and a paste. I'll do that again slower. So I'm going to right click, copy, right click, paste. And then I moved it on over. So now that I've done that, I don't actually need the rectangle anymore. Alright, so now I've got my 2 cornhole board tops here, looking nice and pretty. So cornhole board tops are cool, but you need images, right? You know, I've got an Atlanta Braves set, I've got a UGA set, I've got, some pretty cool sets. So I want everybody to go to Google, and I don't care what images you use or try to use, you just need to get some that work. Alright, so here we go. I want you to, let's see, what's a couple, let me think about what's a good image. I'm gonna do Batman and Superman, right? Don't make your images too complicated. So I looked up Batman logo, and I'm going to type black and white. So I want you to look for a black and white logo. It's going to make things very, very easy. When you find it, I want you to copy it, and I want you to paste it. Alright, if I double click, I can move it, I can size it, and I want you to just think about that logo being on your board here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get my other logo. So I'm going to look for Superman logo, black and white. I'm going to go copy it. I'm going to paste it. And put it in the middle. Alright. So at this point, I now have 2 logos for my cornhole boards that I can use for them, right? So I'm going to teach you a new tool. We haven't learned this one yet, but what's cool is if you have a black and white logo that's easy to use, you could go over here to the right, or to the left, and you can click on this little bird. All right, this bird is called the Trace Bitmap tool, and it will trace an image to create its vectors. So I'm going to click that bird. Now I have to go back and click on my image. So I'm going to click on Batman first, and you'll notice that when I clicked on that Batman, so let me unclick, right? There's nothing here. When I click on the Batman, it shows me all the colors that make up this image. Because our image is mostly black and white, I can click on black and white. For now, I don't want you to adjust any of these. You're going to click black and white, then you're going to go down and click preview and apply, and then close. Alright, so now you can see that I have the image and then I have it traced now. So I have the image and then I have it traced. Again, I'm going to click on the bird, the bitmap trace tool. I'm going to click on Superman. I'm going to change it to black and white. Scroll to the bottom, preview, apply, close. Now I double click the image to move it. You can see what happened, and I'm going to delete. So at this point, we now have our images that go on our cornhole boards. All right, so we got two images, we've got our rectangle, we've got our circle, and now we are done with the drawing phase. And we need to move to the right to go into our toolpath phase. All right, so we've done our CAD, our design. On the right, the toolpath is our CAM, or our manufacturing, how we're actually going to make it. So let's start by cutting out our two boards here. So these two boards are going to be a profile cut. So whenever you want to completely remove something from the wood, you want to cut all the way through the wood, we use the profile toolpath. So again, to review guys, the profile toolpath is this one right here. Profile toolpath is this one right here. So we're going to click that. You need to double check that you have these two rectangles selected. So you can drag click on both or hold down shift and click on both of them so they're both pink. So they both need to be pink with the little dots. Now again, when you're cutting through a board, your start depth is always 0. And then our board is 0.5, but we use what's called a fly board underneath. So you're going to do a little bit more. So 0.52 is appropriate here. So 0, 0.52. We're doing a profile cut. So we need an end mill bit. So if they're all closed, you need to open up end mill. Look for that 0.25 and click OK. Leave the passes alone. All right. Okay, so for the outer profile or the outer vector, you're always going to do outside. So think outer, outside, outer, outside. Okay. Again, got to make sure you have them both selected and then click calculate. It's going to give you this little warning. Just click OK. And let me back out of magnifier real fast. So now you can see that we have our two boards. You're going to click preview all toolpaths. If you double click on the extra wood, it goes away. Double click, it goes away. If you want to redo this, you click reset preview. Preview all again. Reset preview, preview all again. Reset preview, preview all again. Alright, so that is how we do our outside cut. So now we need to move into our next cut. So we're going to close and go into 2D view here. And the next thing we're going to cut is our circles. So I'm going to hold shift to select them both. I'm going to go back into the profile. Now the only difference here, everything is the same, but when you're cutting a hole, we want this to be exactly 6 inches in diameter. So for us to achieve that, we need to do an inside cut. We need that drill bit to go on the inside of this line, so that way we don't lose any extra material from the bit. So the only thing you need to change here is inside. Okay, once you've done that, go to calculate. Again, you're going to get the warning. Click OK. So at this point, we have 2 toolpaths now. 2 toolpaths. So reset, preview, preview all. Reset, preview, preview all. I can double click here, double click here, double click here, and we got our cornhole board started, right? One thing I haven't shown you is up here. Up here there's a speed. If you turn that down, then it's going to do your preview a little slower. It's still fast, but it's slower, all right? All right, so our last thing, images. We taught about this in class. Images are going to be the VCarve, right? VCarve toolpath. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And for our settings, 0.0 is fine. Remember, always start like lower flat depths, lower cutting amounts, because it's easier to just keep going deeper. That you can't go backwards. So 0.08, then if you don't like that, 0.15, then 0.2. All right, so we're gonna do 0. Hush, dogs. Shh. Shh. All right. So 0.08. All right, the tool that we're using is going to be a 60-degree V-bit. So open up your tools, click OK. And now all we have to do is select our 2 images. So I clicked it, held shift, clicked that one, and then calculate. So what that gives us is, if you reset preview, preview all toolpaths, you're going to see that it does a nice carving, all right? One thing you always want to do is you want to do your VCarve first. So I can reorder these by clicking and dragging them. So you want your VCarves to always be above your profiles, all right? And when I'm in class, I'll kind of explain why. All right, so I'm going to reset preview, preview all. So you can see it carves Batman, it'll carve Superman, and then it'll carve my boards. And then we have our finished product. All right, and there you go. That's it, guys. That's it's going to be about a 20-minute video, so it should probably take you like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. When you're done, there's going to be somewhere for you to submit. All right. Please be good for the sub. Don't cause any trouble, and I will see y'all next week.